Thank you.
Thank you, Jackie. Okay, we now have Ted Smith. Welcome. Your annual run around the table.
Thank you, Mayor Helps and Council, for giving me this opportunity to speak. My name is Ted Smith, and I still have a place to crash at 1246 Gladstone Avenue. This is, I think, the 20th year I've been before you with International Medical Marijuana Day, and I would like to thank you for the proclamation which you've given us since 2002. We've got a long history together as a group and some individuals, and I really appreciate the support the Council's given over the years. I'll remind some of the newer folks in the room of that support. It's not just been the proclamation. The Council's also put a motion forward to have cannabis medical use be the lowest priority for the police. It's not binding, but it was a very generous gesture. But more importantly, in 2006, you wrote a letter, penned with Alan Lowe's name, but on behalf of the Council, to Health Canada, basically, calling into question their program, saying it was inadequate. And part of the reason you said it was inadequate was because Health Canada's programs allow patients to use dried marijuana, but if they make an extract, hash or tea or butter, they've actually produced an illegal drug. That's been a major problem that we've had. Certainly, I've seen many people recover by using edibles and cookies, and it's just absurd that it would be illegal, and that was one of the reasons that Council supported us then. And as you quite well know, in 2009, my bakery was raided. My friend Owen Smith was charged with trafficking THC. We won at the BC Supreme Court level. We won last summer at the BC Court of Appeal in a 2-1 decision. That was appealed, and actually next Friday, we're going to be before the Supreme Court of Canada challenging Health Canada's regulations. It will be the biggest day for medical marijuana in Canadian history. Really using dried marijuana is just the start of the full potential of this plant. And we are going to open up a multi-billion-dollar industry. It's really exciting for us to be pushing things to this level. It's an opportunity. Really, it's quite ironic that a police raid would be an opportunity to change federal law, but that's what it has been for us, and we're really quite excited to be at the forefront of an entire new industry. And I think Council is now seeing, that happening now, whether the federal government's in line with it or not. I saw a report yesterday. There's 13 dispensaries in Victoria. There's at least 70 in Vancouver now. They're popping up all over. There's half a dozen in Nanaimo, for crying out loud. It's something that really is blowing me away as an activist for in this field for 20 years to see so many people investing their lives into this, because it is a life-saving herb, as many people know. And so, to see this wave of momentum occurring, it's just truly exciting. And it also, I think, is a sign of the times. We're sitting in a province surrounded by legal pot stores. Both Alaska now and Washington State are selling cannabis legally. Oregon and Colorado along the way. The United States is changing things. In fact, this week, a special council within the United Nations is putting together a motion for next year to reclassify cannabis within the United Nations itself, which will allow many more countries, like Jamaica and others, to legalize it, because that's the holdup at that level. And so here in Victoria, again, we're just very grateful for the support that the Council has showed us. It's a sign of the support, again, that this community shows us. And we're just, again, really thankful for that continued support, and looking forward to next week. If there's any questions Council has about the organization or 420 coming up again.
I think we're good for now. Thank you very much. This is a time for the public to address us and not so much for us to ask you questions, but we do know where to find you if we have follow-up questions.
Okay.
Thank you so much for coming again this evening.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Thank you. The next speaker is Deborah Birch.
She did go home.
She did go home. Yeah, it's late, isn't it? And I do not see Bobby Arbus in our chambers either. Okay. So that brings us, yes, Councillor Thornton Joe?
If you could, if you indulge, I don't know if there was anyone else that had prepared to come to speak.
Was there anyone else?
Vic West dog?
Is there anyone else that came to speak about a Vic West Park, dog park?
Okay, that's fine.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Thornton Joe. Okay, that brings us to the end of our requests to address council. We now move on to unfinished business. And we have one item of unfinished business this evening, a development permit with variances for 595